this video we'll be doing our personal top best Asturias beaches that are concentrated in one area of 20 kilometers long along the coast from Naves to Bufones de Arenillas. This is our favorite region to come and visit because we know that it has one of the best picturesque landscapes, beautiful beaches and coastline, and scenic islands. Also because it has some wonderful campground accommodation options right at the ocean coast. The beaches are going to be in a logical order of their location on the map, and there won't be our most and least favorite beach mentioned, because we love them all and they're all unique and wonderful. So without further ado, let's get started! First off, we'll start with the beach Playa de San Antolin. That is located between Borizo and Naves towns and has an easy access from the road. It is the largest beach in the council of Llanes, being more than 1 kilometer long. On the left side can be seen Punta de la Dehesa Cape. The natural rocky arch stands out in the sea, which adds to the landscape too. There is a river Bedon that flows into the ocean and is easy to cross. As the beach faces the open sea, there is often the big waves and wind, so it is not recommended for swimming, but it is a perfect spot to practice surfing. We love the green hill view in front of the beach and overall the natural feel about it. The beach is mostly sandy and has stones and pebbles at the upper part. Thanks to its spaciousness, it is possible to enjoy the beach at any time, whether it is low or high tide. And only if the sea is very rough, it can make it difficult to walk alone. Playa de Torimbia is the beach located very close to the Playa de San Antolin, connected by a hiking footpath going over the hill. It is an amazing shell-shaped beach with the golden sand. It is isolated by the beautiful green vertical cliffs. The environment is wild and the beach is quite spacious and big. It can be accessed by the paved road from Niembro, and descent to the beach is possible to do by a designated path or by rocky paths. The views from the beach are quite dramatic, with several rocks standing in the ocean and the coastal cliff of more than 50 meters high. The depth of the bathing area doesn't exceed 1.5 meters, the water is clean, and there are no sharp rocks and abrupt slopes. The width of the beach varies greatly due to the tides, and it is a real pleasure to observe the high tide coming. There can be seen some beautiful big waves here. Next up is Playa de Troenzo, a much smaller beach compared to the first two, but has its own natural charm. It is located in a 130-meter bay in the outskirts of the town Silorio, in an area where several campgrounds are concentrated. There is a parking spot nearby and you can access it by a footpath and some steps. This beach disappears at the high tide, so it's worth to visit when the tide is low. It is somewhat sheltered from the big waves, which makes it a great place for swimming. You can spend some time alone going there in the morning at the low tide and have some peaceful cozy time reading a book, for example. Hiking up to the nearby cliff is very much worth it because of the dreamy, breathtaking views of the rugged green hills and rocks in the water, as well as the coastline. Meeting a sunset there is incredible, enjoying the serenity and surreal landscapes. Playa de Borizo is located next to the Playa de Troenzo and is quite a bit wider. The high tide still covers most of the beach, so it's better to visit at low tide. It can become crowded with people because of the easy access from the road. It is a white sanded beach with crystal clear waters. The beach is very protected, natural and surrounded by the green meadows despite it being close to the town. At a low tide, this beach is linked to the island of Borizu or Arenillas through a tombola, which makes it a peculiarity and turns the high-low tide process into a beautiful spectacle. There is a great variety of large rocks which create even more scenic picture. You can get the wonderful views of the beach and coastline climbing up to the viewpoint of Borizo on the nearby cliff. It forms the part of the cinematographic route of Asturias, with several movies filmed there. The next beach we are going to mention is Playa San Martin, which is actually connected to Playa Portiello and Playa Almenada at the low tide. So this is 3-in-1 amazing beach line. This is one of our personal favorites and one of the best places to unwind and chill out. It can be windy though and normally has quite strong waves and tides, that is why it is chosen by many surfers. It has a wide sandy space, most of which disappears at the high tide. There are two beautiful islands in front, Castro San Martin and island of Almenada. By these three beaches, the natural and wild environment is formed, and usually they are not overcrowded. It is amazing to walk alone and explore these beaches at the low tide. You just need to be aware that as the tide rises, there is a risk to be isolated on the third beach, Playa Almenada. It has an access to the sea on both sides, and you can truly feel yourself on an island. At the high tide, you still can stay at Playa San Martin, or the most secluded beach of Portiello, where remains a small strip of sand and stones. Along this stretch of coast passes the Camino de Santiago del Norte, and this is how we encountered this beach for the first time. High on the western cliff there are ruins of Ermita de San Martin that can serve as a good subject for photography. And finishing off the video, I would like to make an honorable mention of Playa de Andrin and Playa de Bayota beaches, which we also met while walking the Camino de Santiago del Norte and could appreciate how splendid they look from above. Both of the beaches located very close to each other. Playa de Andrin being more unpredictable with strong waves and currents, and Playa de Bayota having calm waters with little waves. They have fine white sand and the majestic surroundings of the high cliffs. And that was our best top beaches in Asturias. Every beach that is mentioned here has its own personal charm and each one deserves a visit. We are aware that there are many other beautiful and magnificent beaches in Asturias that we didn't mention here and may have not visited still. So you're welcome to let us know in the comments what are your favorite beaches in Asturias and which ones would you recommend. If you enjoyed our video and found it useful in some way, give it a thumbs up as it helps for the video to be ranked higher. And make sure to subscribe to the channel to get to see more videos like this in the future. Hope you'll have a great beach experience and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!